Family, welcome back to another Premier League Combined 11 video. Today we were talking about the big one on Sunday between Manchester City and Arsenal. There's a lot to get into, so let's get right to it. In goal, we're going Ederson. Ederson is a good, not great shot stopper, but what he can do with his feet, starting attacks against a team like Arsenal who likes to press, is the differentiator for me when talking against David Raya. David Raya is also a good, not great shot stopper, but can't do nearly as much as Ederson with his feet, so it's easy Ederson at goalkeeper. At right back, I'm going Kyle Walker. Ben White is a very solid player and a great right back, but for me, Kyle Walker goes down as the greatest right back in Premier League history. People thought as he gets older that he would actually get worse, but it's been the complete opposite. He is just as fast as he was at Spurs, keeping up with the likes of Vinny and other pacey wingers across the world, but his defensive positioning has gotten better, his technique on the ball has gotten better, and his overall experience in some of the biggest matches across the world puts him above pretty much anyone in the Premier League at right back, and he might be the best right back in the entire world right now. At center back, it's pretty easy for me. Diaz and Saliba slot in, two of the three best Premier League center backs right now, along with Christian Romero. While Gabriel and Akanji, when he's playing center back, are all right shouts, it's not really a competition for me as the other two are just on a different level. At left back, I'm going Gvardiol over Zinchenko. The way he's been able to come in and slot in fairly seamlessly thus far is extremely impressive, especially when you consider the fact that he's playing a little bit out of position when he's playing left back or left center back. Zinchenko is just above average, and Gvardiol's defending and quality on the ball, the passes he's able to make out of the back, set him apart from Zinchenko. At CDM and holding mid, I'm going Declan Rice. I want this on the record that I would have gone for Rodri, as he is one of the clutchest and best DMs in the entire world, but due to him serving the final match of his 3-game red card suspension, I'm left with Declan Rice. I'm not upset with picking Declan Rice at all, as I do think he is also a very quality DM, but Rodri's just a slightly different level better, but I'm only left with Rice, and I'm not going to complain about it. At center mid, I'm going Odegaard and Foden. You can play them both at the 10, Odegaard at the 8, Foden at the 10. It doesn't matter. These two need to get into the team, so however you want to put the formation together, it's Odegaard and Foden. Odegaard has consistently been the first or second best player in this Arsenal side for a few years, and it's just putting consistent performance after consistent performance. And when it comes to Foden, I've been screaming about how good Phil Foden is, and he finally has gotten his opportunity consistently at that 10 position or right wing with De Bruyne's injury, and he has imposed his will and showed just how classy he is, and he needs to be in the starting 11 for England at the Euros. And I don't have to do this, as I did include Odegaard and Foden, but I also want this on the record similar to the Rice and Rodri situation. If I had to pick one out-and-out number 10, I would go Foden over Odegaard. Moving to the front three, starting at left wing, I'm going Yeremy Doku. This guy has been absolutely unreal since coming over to City. And it's not like he was transferred over early in the summer. This guy came in as the season already started, no preseason with this team, and has slotted in perfectly. And whether you want to say it's Grealish injury or not, I think Doku is the better player at left wing, and I think he keeps that left wing position even when Grealish is fully fit. You may have to consider this Doku transfer as they got it done so late with all the circumstances, and it's so hard to improve the City's 11 as a top 5 transfer thus far. I honestly don't even know if Martinelli is fit, but he is the most overrated player in the Premier League, so for me, he wouldn't have even been in consideration for this left wing spot. Doku clears Martinelli easily. At striker, I don't even need to waste time explaining this. It is obviously Haaland over either Nketiah or Jesus. It doesn't really matter. The robot gets in 10 times out of 10, and I'm not going to waste your time explaining why. But I do have one bone to pick with Haaland, and I don't need to do this anymore as Kane is a traitor and did leave Tottenham, but I need to put it on record. If you swap Kane and Haaland, Kane to that City team of last season and Haaland to that Spurs team of last season, Haaland would not have even crossed 20 goals on the Premier League season. The Golden Boot race last season was 36 goals to Haaland and 30 to Kane. If you swap their position, Kane is clearing 40 goals in that City side, and I'm telling you, Haaland would not have cleared 20 goals in that poor Spurs side of last season. I just needed to get that out there. At right wing, I'm going Julian Alvarez. Saka's injury at the Champions League makes this pretty easy for me. I hate to see Saka go down, as I feel like everyone, even as a Tottenham player, just loves Bukayo Saka, so I'm going with Alvarez. I don't even know who you would consider as the other options on that Arsenal side, but it's Julian Alvarez easily. The way he has been playing is absolutely insane. The winner he scored against Leipzig midweek Champions League was an absolute joke, and now that he's getting consistent minutes with Bernardo Silva playing less and Riyad Mahrez gone, it is becoming an extremely consistent thing for Alvarez to be putting in class performances after class performances. And for all those saying in the comments, Alvarez doesn't play right wing, it doesn't matter. I'm putting the best players on the field. He can play right wing, but if you want to switch it up, you can play Alvarez at the 10, move Foden out wide, or you can put Doku at right wing and Alvarez at left wing. These are the best players that get into this combined 11, and if Alvarez is a little bit out of position, you can deal with it. That wraps up my combined 11, and that is 8 City players and 3 Arsenal players, and honestly would have been 9-2 if Rodri was fit. And I don't really think that's biased or harsh on Arsenal, and I honestly don't even think there's an argument for anyone else in this team. But you guys will let me know right now in the comments, what did I mess up? Because you guys always tell me I messed up somehow, some way. But moving to my Premier League predictions, starting with this big Arsenal versus City match, I think City is going to absolutely crush Arsenal in a 3-0 victory at the Emirates. They're coming off an awful loss in the Champions League. They have a ton of injuries. Man City coming off a loss previously in the Prem. They're going to look to bounce back in the league. It's going to be a thrashing 3-0 to City. Up next, we have Luton versus Spurs. I think actually all the crying that Klopp and the Liverpool players and fans have been doing has been a bit of a distraction, so we will come out a little sluggish and a little distracted, but I think we do squeeze out a 2-1 victory at Luton. Everton versus Bournemouth, early in the season, but could be huge for the relegation battle, and I think Everton's loss to Luton previously in the Premier League hangs over their head, and Bournemouth goes to Goodison Park and gets a point. They finish 1-1 draw. Fulham versus Sheffield United, this will be an absolute snooze fest, and I wouldn't even waste my time watching it, but I do believe Fulham squeaks out a 1-0 victory. Man United versus Brentford. If you know this channel, everyone thinks I hate United, but I don't hate United. I'm just realistic, and everything I've said, Premier League-wise and Champions League-wise, is coming true. Just put in this clip of me talking about how Galatasaray would beat United and that no one is scared of going to Old Trafford anymore. Manchester United will not make it out of the group, and here's why. Old Trafford isn't a place people fear going anymore, so I can see Bayern going there, absolutely thrashing them with a Kane hat-trick, and I could also see Galatasaray or even Copenhagen pick up a point at Old Trafford. But nonetheless, I believe this stays true, and I think Brentford go to Old Trafford, get a 2-1 victory, and people are starting to call for Ten Hag's head already. Palace versus Forest. This will be the most exciting match of the entire weekend, as City's just going to crush Arsenal, and I think it is a 3-3 draw, high scoring, up and down match, and Palace and Forest share the points. Moving to Sunday, where we have some great matches, starting with Brighton versus Liverpool. Similar to what I was saying about Tottenham, I think this is going to be an even bigger distraction for the Liverpool players, especially with Klopp and McAllister all making comments about it and not letting it go. I'm not saying that they didn't mess up and it was horrible, but there's nothing that's going to happen. They're not going to go back and replay the match. It just sets a horrible precedent. There have been countless missed calls. I know this one is horrific because it's VAR and it's a simple communication error. It's horrific. I'm not denying it's horrific. But you want to know what was also horrific? When Sissoko got hit on the chest and then the ball hit him on the arm, and Liverpool got a penalty early in the Champions League final against Tottenham. If they want to replay the Premier League match, I want to go replay the Champions League final. But nonetheless, it is going to be a distraction. They also have a midweek Europa League match on Thursday, and I think Brighton win 2-0 at the Amex. West Ham versus Newcastle, another low-key amazing match, and similar to the distractions that Liverpool and Tottenham will have, I think there will be a hangover for Newcastle after getting their biggest win in such a long time, thrashing PSG at home, a brilliant victory in the Champions League for them, but they will have stayed out and celebrated too much the night before. They'll be a bit hungover from the huge high that they're coming off, and I think they come out very sluggish, and West Ham take the lead. Newcastle will bounce back in the second half, but the points will be shared at London Stadium. And finally, Wolves versus Villa. Villa stays on their scorching hot form in the Prem, and they get a 3-1 victory against Wolves. If you've enjoyed the video, make sure you like and subscribe. It would be a huge help to me. And I will see you later for some more EAFC content. And a very, very, very special video is on the way. So make sure you subscribe. More coming soon. Peace.